You've been told that commitment is a binary. Either she's with you or she isn't. But biology tells a much more cold-blooded story. The truth is, your relationship isn't a destination. It's a dynamic, ongoing negotiation. Welcome to the mate-switching hypothesis. It's the evolutionary plan B that every human carries in their hard coding. For our ancestors, staying in a suboptimal pairing wasn't just a romance fail, it was a reproductive dead end. This is why backburner partners exist. They aren't just friends, they're vetted alternatives waiting in the wings. But what triggers the switch? It's rarely a single event. It's a calculated assessment of relative mate value. Evolutionary psychology suggests women are designed to prioritize stability until a significantly better option becomes attainable. We're talking about the good genes quest. It's an unconscious drive to ensure the next generation has the best possible edge. If you stop providing the protection or provision that anchored the bond, the shield drops. In the modern era, the vetted alternatives are no longer just the guy in the next tribe. They're everywhere, on her screen, in her DMs. Technology has hyper-accelerated the mate-switching process, making the insurance policy easier to maintain than ever. The switch doesn't happen when she leaves. It happens months before, when the mental bridge to the next partner is finally completed. Her attention is a lead indicator. Once the internal compass recalibrates, the current relationship becomes a ghost ship. This isn't cheating in the traditional sense. It's an internal audit of her life's overhead versus the potential ROI of a new partner. When the comfort of the present is outweighed by the excitement of the potential, the psychology of mate switching kicks into overdrive. It starts with small boundary tests, a late-night text, a harmless coffee, a subtle withdrawal of affection. To the outside world, she's following her heart. To an evolutionary psychologist, she's following a survival protocol optimized over 1 million years. When the cut finally happens, it's surgical. To you, it's a tragedy. To biology, it's an upgrade. But here's the danger for the new man. The way she enters a relationship is often the way she exits it. So how do you become the partner she never wants to switch from? You have to understand the 3 vulnerability windows. Window 1, the plateau of stagnation. This is where you stop growing, and her biological radar starts looking for a new trajectory. When the momentum of the relationship dies, the cost of staying begins to outweigh the cost of leaving. Evolution doesn't care about your history together. It only cares about the current relative value of the alternatives. Window 2, the arrival of the superstimulus. This is when a man enters her orbit who represents a significant genetic or resource level up. Her brain is flooded with the novelty chemical, the same one that fueled your early days, but now it's working against you. In the wild, this was the lone hunter. In the 21st century, it's the guy friend who is always just a little too available. He is the insurance policy. He provides the emotional validation you've stopped giving, lowering her fear of the single state. When the thrill of the new outweighs the stability of the old, the switch becomes a mathematical certainty. She begins to test the switch. She shares a problem with him instead of you. She monitors his reaction to her vulnerability. This is the point of no return. The mental decision is made. The physical exit is now just a matter of timing. Window 3, the conflict window. This is the manufactured crisis. It's the exit strategy dressed up as a fight. She begins to grievance collect. Suddenly, things you did 3 years ago are unforgivable crimes. She is rewriting the narrative of the relationship. To justify the switch, she must devalue you. You aren't just not the one anymore. you are the wrong one. She is comparison shopping, subconsciously weighing your genetic and social capital against the new prospect. The emotional distancing is the final brick in the wall. You're in the same room, but she is light years away. She might provoke a fight she knows you'll lose, just so she can use your reaction as the final reason to leave. In her mind, the good times are being edited out. She's creating a version of history where she was always unhappy. This is the monkey branch. She doesn't let go of the first branch until she has a firm grip on the second. There is almost always an overlap, a period where she is biologically tied to two men simultaneously. But why does this happen even in good relationships? To find the answer, we have to look at the hidden fertility signals. It starts with the ovulatory shift. Research shows that during high fertility windows, a woman's preferences for specific male traits undergo a radical transformation. When estrogen peaks, the subconscious drive for genetic quality overrides the desire for long-term stability. She becomes more attuned to deeper voices, more masculine sense, and displays of social dominance. This is the dual mating strategy, evolution's way of trying to get the best of both worlds, security from one and genetics from another. In the ancestral environment, mate switching was the only way to ensure genetic diversity in an offspring pool. But modern life has thrown a wrench into this machinery. Hormonal contraceptives can actually mask these biological preferences. When a woman goes off the pill, her original mate preferences return. If you don't fit that new template, the switching protocol activates. In hyperpopulated urban environments, the switching cost is lower than ever. There is always a replacement, just a swipe away. The system is designed to seek the highest possible value. If you stop providing it, the software starts looking for a version 2.0. The search is subconscious, perpetual, and completely amoral. It's just biology doing its job. But this isn't a death sentence for your relationship. It's a blueprint for how you must evolve. To prevent the switch, you must remain the high-value option. This starts with relentless self-actualization. You cannot rest on your laurels. The mate value you had on day 1 is not enough to keep the back burner at bay on day 1000. Establish your frame. A man with a mission is much harder to switch from than a man whose only mission is her approval. Increase the sunk cost. Build a life that is so deeply intertwined that the cost of switching becomes a personal catastrophe for her as well. Keep a piece of yourself for yourself. Familiarity is the parent of stagnation. Mystery is the parent of desire. Enforce your boundaries. A woman will respect a man who is willing to walk away more than a man who is afraid to lose her. Play the long game. Evolution rewards the adaptable. If you stay ahead of the curve, you become the permanent choice. The goal isn't to own her, it's to be the man she would never dream of replacing. She's not yours, it's just your turn. Make sure you're the one who makes the turn last a lifetime. Understanding the biology is just the beginning. To truly inoculate your relationship, you must master the architecture of retention. Retention isn't about control, it's about becoming the undisputed market leader in her life. This requires social proof. When other people value you, her biological mate-switching alarm stays silent. The most common mistake? Overinvestment. Attention is a currency. If you hyperinflate it, its value drops to zero. You must introduce controlled novelty. Change the routine, pivot your goals, and keep the mental map she has of you constantly updating. During her vulnerability windows, you must be the lighthouse, not the storm. Emotional volatility on your end only validates her need to switch. calibrate your warmth. If she pulls away, you don't chase. You match her temperature until the switching impulse loses its friction. A man who doesn't need her validation is a man who is biologically terrifying to lose. This is the paradox of retention. The more you are willing to let go, the more she is compelled to hold on. The world hasn't changed, only the speed of the game. Mate switching is the oldest story in our DNA. She is fighting the same millions of years of programming that you are. It's not a personal attack, it's a biological imperative. Your job is to build a bridge so strong that the new prospect looks like a rickety plank in comparison. Stop treating her like a prize to be kept and start treating yourself like a mission to be completed. Leadership isn't dominance, it's direction. If she knows where you're going, she's less likely to look for a new navigator. Trust is the final layer, but trust is only possible when she respects the strength behind the kindness. When the tests come, and they will, be the mountain. Don't react, just remain. Intellectual dominance is the ultimate retention tool. Be the only person who can truly see the architecture of her mind. Remember, relationship status is a daily vote. You have to win the election every single morning. The danger of mate switching doesn't vanish. You just outgrow the fear of it. She's not yours, it's just your turn. Make it a turn that echoes through her biology forever. Subscribe to Primal Notes.